Hi, Dave Dickinson with Bankers Compliance Consulting, and I want to take a few minutes to talk about some specifics of HMDA data for small filers. Here's the laundry list of data that you don't have to report, and I want you to note that some of these have asterisks beside them. Well, what the rules say is if you're going to go there in part, then you got to go there in whole. Now, specifically, if you're going to give the credit score, then you have to give the scoring model it came from. If you're going to give the automated underwriting, you have to tell them the system that it came from. Just because you give the credit score, though, doesn't mean you have to give reasons for denial. It's not like you're all in on all the data. It's just if you go in on any of those 7, you got to give the corresponding data for that specific item that you're reporting. The filing instruction guides that came out in August of 2018 said that if you want to report exempt, then you need to use the word exempt when it's an alpha field and 1111 when it's a numeric field. Don't report NA. NA is actually reporting for, it might be the right answer for some things. So if you put NA meaning hands off, we're not reporting this, you actually are reporting, and that would be an incorrect answer sometimes. Also, if you're a national bank regulated by the OCC or a state savings institution, meaning you used to be OTS and now you're regulated by the FDIC, then you have to report the reasons for denial. This Regulatory Relief Act did not trump these regulators' requirements to give reasons for denial, so sorry. And last, I recommend not reporting, but still collecting certain defensive fields like debt to income, loan to value, and credit score. Why? Because if the regulators say, we feel like you're discriminating against these people for their race, sex, or ethnicity, you can say, no, it had to do with their debt to income, loan to value, credit score. See, here it is right here. Those are good things to have on hand in your defense. Now let's go into specifically the property address and location requirements. And this gets really tricky because there's 3 different ways that you might have to report. When it comes to a property that's located within an MSA that you have an office, main or branch office, then you have to report the state, county, and census tract. If you'll notice, state, county, and census tract don't have the words exempt beside them. They're NA possibly, but you don't get to exempt yourself from those. You do get the exemption from street, address, city, and zip. So street, city, and zip, we might put exempt, exempt, exempt. If it's outside of your MSA or we have an office, then you're exempt from all of these 6 items. But then there's one catch. You might be a small filer for HMDA, but if you're a large bank for CRA, when it comes to community development loans or small business loans, this exemption is overruled and you have to give all 6 property address information for small business and community development. Now, why didn't I mention small farm? You might say, because that's part of CRA too, because small farms, all farms are exempt from HMDA. So this regulatory relief wiped out this in and outside your MSA thing, but it didn't wipe out if you're a large CRA bank. Very tricky, isn't it? And this is quite complicated here. That's the kind of thing that we're going to talk about on March 28th. We're going to spend 1 hour getting into the weeds, talking about the data requirements that you're exempt from and those that you're still required to report, making sure that you understand, like this location, property address information. We're going to take all this and turn it into plain English for you so that you can get back to doing what's most important, and that's serving your customers. I hope you'll join me then.